Hi guys, it's Heather Harmon here with Manta Live again. Thank you for joining us at lunchtime. We're going to be talking about having a marketing plan when you have zero budget. So how do you create this marketing plan when you have little to no budget? So I've got a really awesome guest today. Our VP of Marketing, Sara Oberst, is here to join us. Thank you for coming.
Of course.
And what I'd like you guys to do first is to make sure that you get notifications from us by pressing that button right below our broadcast to make sure that you know when we go live every time. And I'd also like you in the comments to tell us what industry you're in so that as we're talking about these tactics, we can make sure that we're talking about examples that fit your business. So you can continue to ask questions and we really welcome that, but I'd also like everyone that's watching to be putting in their industry. Okay, so let's get started. Let's get right into it.
All right, let's do it.
Okay, so if I have zero budget for marketing or a very little budget, why do I need a marketing plan for my business? What am I putting in this? Why would I do this?
I think that the marketing plan serves two critical purposes. One is, starting with an understanding of how busy small business owners are and the fact that marketing is often not anywhere near the top of the list. I think creating a marketing plan saves you a ton of time by helping you to prioritize the channels that are going to be most critical and drive the best results for you. And I think, starting there, you could do two things. One is identify platforms where your business is missing. So, you don't have a Facebook page, so obviously that's going to be a priority. But I think the other thing you need to do once you've sat and thought about that a little bit is think about where your customers are. So, are you really a small business where customers are going to be willing to search for and hire or contact via Facebook? Or do local listings make more sense for your business? I think it depends, again, on your industry, which is why adding that to the comments is great because we can get really specific about a lot of this advice. And then on the flip side, once you've sort of been able to prioritize your efforts, identify your weakest spots and the spots that are most critical to strengthen because that's where customers are going to get to you. Then, once you're done executing on some of those, you can go back and document whether or not those were successful channels for you. So initially you're making some guesses and some assumptions, obviously based on just common sense. You don't have to do a ton of research. I mean, you're also going to know where your competitors are and where you're missing out. But then going back through and measuring. So making sure, that was successful and it's worth more of your time. Because I can't say this often enough, and I know all the small business owners that are watching this know that your time is money. So while your marketing might not have any budget dollars behind it or very few budget dollars behind it, every hour that you spend on your marketing, and especially if you don't look back and measure results, so you're spending your valuable time on something that's never going to pay you back with new customers is a waste.
Exactly. Okay, so you've got some good ideas to start out with, things like online marketing that we need to make sure we're doing, social media we need to make sure we're doing. What other things do we need to make sure are in our outline? What do we really need to be hitting on in our marketing plan?
I tend to go back because this, is typically 99% of the time relevant to all businesses on one, level or another, but mobile. So, and you, by the way, you don't need a website. We're talking about marketing with $0. I'm not by any means telling small business owners to rush out and spend, $1,000, $2,000, $5,000 on a mobile optimized website. That is really not necessary. We see a lot of the small business owners that we work with have great success capturing customers when they're on their mobile devices looking for a plumber, or looking for a landscaper, or looking for an attorney, or a CPA, people are doing all these searches on their phones.
Yes.
They're sitting on the couch at home. They're not going to get up and walk over to the laptop. That's too much to ask. Or they're sitting at their desk at work and they're using their personal phone to search for these services. So, in order to capture those customers on those devices, without spending on a mobile optimized website or going back and updating the website you have to make sure that it's mobile optimized, the absolute most critical thing you can do is manage local listings.
Mm-hmm.
So Google My Business, your Yahoo listing, your Bing listing, listings on directories like Manta and Yelp. Those are all places where those companies have spent the money to optimize for mobile and to get search engine optimized to come up on that first search page of a Google search. They spent that money for you. So the smartest thing you can do is take advantage of that, go to those places, claim those listings that are under your business name, and at the very least make sure your phone number is there and that it's the right phone number.
Yes.
Right? That is free. And it's always on, it's always mobile optimized, it's always search engine optimized. So you have a presence on the internet that these other companies like Manta and Google have paid for and paid to make really great customer experiences with. But if the customer comes and the phone number is not on there, they're going to the next listing and they're calling your competitor.
Right.
To me, that is absolutely far and away number one.
Yes. Okay, so when we've got a small budget, we want to be really strategic about who we're targeting. So who would you say is the best customer to be targeting when we have a really small budget?
So I think that it's the customer that you already have. In marketing we call it a lookalike audience, and if you play around with Facebook or Facebook ads, you know that you can create lookalike audiences where essentially you're telling Facebook who your existing customers are, all of these sort of key features of these people, and then Facebook is going out helping you find more people like them.
Mm-hmm.
So in my mind, if you have to start somewhere, start with who the people are, where the people are, what the people want who've already paid you for your services or products.
Yes.
And then go from there. So look at your existing customers, ask your existing customers when you have an opportunity to be with them, where did you find me? Where do you look for other businesses like mine that you hire and that you use? And then turn around and take that input from them directly from the customer, which is what this is all about, getting more customers,
right,
and implement that in your marketing.
Yeah, absolutely. It's 10 times less expensive to get an existing customer to purchase again than it is to get a new customer.
Absolutely.
So we've talked about influencer outreach in the past, so reaching out to those people in your sphere, whatever your industry is, that are the experts. How can we do this without paying for it? Is there a way that we can really reach out to these guys and get them on our team if we don't have a budget?
I think there are some ways. I know you do a lot of work with influencers for Manta's marketing,
Mm-hmm.
so I would kind of consider you the local influencer marketing guru. But I know there's a lot of trading in kind, right?
Yes.
So that's a great place to start, and it's not just influencers. So small business owners within their own communities should look at complementary businesses, other small businesses that sort of complement yours or would maybe have similar customers to the ones that you want access to.
Right.
Reach out to those people, whether it's through your chamber of commerce or directly, cold call them, and take them for a coffee and brainstorm or bring some already sort of baked ideas about how you can help each other.
Yeah.
It's not a one-sided conversation. It's a give and take, and it helps you to dig in even deeper with your community and the other small business owners in your community, which are just absolutely invaluable connections to have, not just for marketing, but so many other things.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so how we've heard and we've told you guys that social media is really big play in a lot of ways. What are the ways that we can use social media with zero budget? So say we're not putting dollars behind an ad campaign, we're not promoting our posts. What else can we be doing to make sure that we're getting that kind of engagement that we need on social?
Well, I mean, what do you do?
Okay.
I mean, you do this every day, so I mean.
Yeah, well, okay, so really.
Share your secrets.
Absolutely. Okay, so Facebook Live.
Yeah,
well,
absolutely.
Doing the things that you know that are really being pushed hard right now by Facebook, like Facebook Live, get yourself an Instagram account, follow other people that your competitors are following. Join in conversations that are already happening. Twitter has a myriad of regular weekly Twitter chats. Find one that matches your industry or find one that matches where your customers will be. So if you know that every Friday there's a Twitter chat about like custom sneakers and you're an apparel company, be there. It might not even be a one-to-one, but being there, being in that conversation where your customers might be already adding to that with great insight, making sure that what you're adding is actually adding value to the conversation. Those are the kinds of things that you can do. Sharing articles that are relevant to what you do from influencers are a really good way to capture that influencer's audience too. So those are just really easy wins. They might take time to do. That's when you have zero budget, you're going to have to put in a lot more sweat equity into these things. But being able to go out there and being really engaged in the community is a free way to get more followers and make sure that you're a part of the conversation. And really, when those organic conversations happen, you create a lot more loyalty. You create a better customer service feel, a better brand feel for your company. So just some ideas.
Yeah, I think too, I mean, speaking of, the time is money kind of, coming back to that, when you're working through your plan, that's the time when you pick your channels.
Yeah.
So, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat, YouTube, there's so much there. But I think a focused effort on the channel that is the most relevant to you, which again goes back to thinking about where are your customers and what do you have to offer on these channels in order to make those connections, looking at what your competitors doing or complementary businesses are doing, setting up those meetings with those other business owners and asking them where they've had success and what they've tried that didn't work at all, so don't waste your time. I mean, all of that comes together in the moments where you're actually sitting in front of your computer doing this.
Yes.
So paring down how many channels you feel like you have to participate in to one channel that is the most relevant for you and is the most likely to connect you to that customer in a meaningful way, and focus your time and energy there. And then the other thing I would say is, going back to talking to your customers and being a part of the community, ask your customers either in your receipts or in your emails to them or in person when you're working with them to go on Facebook if that's one of your channels, or Google if that's one of your local listing channels, which it should be. I don't think there's any question there, but and give you a review.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And then also join community groups on Facebook. I mean, I don't know about you, and I cannot be the only one, but my neighborhood has a massive Facebook group.
Right.
And everyone who lives in that neighborhood is on that Facebook group. And a lot of times, they're selling their kids' old toys or they're promoting their garage sale or whatever. But at least 1 out of 5 posts that I see out of the tens of thousands of posts running through that community Facebook group is someone asking for a referral for a small business. Do you guys know anybody who can clean my carpets?
Absolutely.
Do you guys know someone who can come clean my gutters? I need a nanny. I need, it's a lot of that. Join those groups and make sure that you are responding to those requests when you have an opportunity, and create a fan base out of your existing customers again, so that when those opportunities come up,
your name's the one on the top of their heads.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. And creating those kinds of incentives for your customers to be doing those things, oftentimes all it takes is just you asking, just reminding them that, hey, if you have a really good repeat customer, you know that they appreciate your work, ask them.
Yeah.
That's all it takes, and most people are more than happy to do those kinds of things for you.
And Facebook's a great place to throw a post up just for your Facebook fans, just to reward them for liking your business on Facebook. 10% off referral offer, this week only. Refer a friend and they get 10% off, and so do you on your next service.
Yeah.
Things like that. Social media is a great place to reward loyal customers.
Yeah.
And get those loyal customers to bring new customers in the door.
Absolutely. Okay, so we've talked a lot about directories. Directories are a really great place to list your business for free, get found for free, especially if you don't have a website, if you don't have a great following on social media yet. You can still be found online using those things. Give me top 5. Give me the ones you have to be on.
Yeah. Well, I think
Manta. Sorry,
right.
Just gonna say that. Manta.
Manta. So 2 through 4 or 2 through 5. Obviously Google. I think that Google is, completely industry and location agnostic. I don't care what your small business does, and I don't care where you're located. Google has a foothold on your customers.
Yes.
So absolutely Google.
Yeah. And it's called Google My Business now. They have different products. It was Google Local before, and there's other different things but seek out Google My Business for your business. That's where you're going to see that right rail where it talks about what your hours and location are, that when somebody searches for your name, that pops up immediately. You want to make sure that that's all correct and verified, and you can post through that. So add photos, things like that really set your business.
Reviews.
Yeah, reviews go there, and you need to be monitoring those. So seek out Google My Business, get that postcard, verify it.
Absolutely. I mean, step 1, right?
And then after getting your Manta account.
Yes. I think, the other thing, again, aside from directories like Manta, which, similar to Google, pretty, really industry location agnostic. Oftentimes when customers search plumbers, Columbus, Ohio, which is where Manta's located, a Manta listing is going to come up in that first page of search, just like Google's going to deliver their 3-pack.
Right.
At the top of the search. So, I would say, Manta, Yahoo, Bing, the super pages, the yellow pages, which is like yp.com, Google My Business, and then looking more at industry specific, they're going to rank in search better. So you're going to have certain directories like Yelp for restaurants and retail. They're going to really start to own some of that top real estate for those customer searches, and drive business into you. And then, for attorneys, there are directories that are going to own search to a large degree. For CPAs, you're going to find that as well. So again, we start to sort of, once we get away from like the Mantas and the Googles, you start to get a little bit more industry specific, and you need to make sure that you're monitoring your presence. Honestly, it's really several dozen, I think, local directories at this point who do have a foothold in search, and where customers are seeing your business information. And oftentimes, just like Google, those places will have customer reviews. And if you're not managing your business information so that it's correct, and you're not managing your reviews, things can slip by you.
And that's something that you can do without a budget, is to be able to manage those things. So again, putting that sweat equity into knowing what those things are, setting up monitoring for those so that you know when that comes in. Those are free things and quite simple as well.
Yeah.
So go back to one of our old Facebook Lives where we talk about managing online reviews and get lots of tips on how to do that.
Yeah, the blog has lots of stuff on local listings,
Absolutely.
and how to sort of do that as step by step, and then the review management too.
Okay, so next question. A lot of small business owners get pitched in email, get phone calls of lead lists. So, and these are expensive.
Yeah.
And do we need them? Do we invest in them? Can we afford them? Lead lists.
You know, I'm not a fan. I'm
Okay.
really not. Again, I think no one knows your customer better than you do. That customer profile is based on, again, the customers that you already have. Lead lists are, you know, the quality varies wildly. And by the way, the quality of the list is not necessarily indicated in how much you pay for the list. So you can pay just, you know, you could pay top dollar for a really low quality list. But the other thing is, you know, how do you explain to those people how you got their information?
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
It could be a real turn off.
it really can, and getting over that hump with people is going to cost you a lot more time and money in the long run than if you just cultivated your own organic lead list.
Yeah.
And also put the time and energy into intercepting the customers who are already looking for you. So it's not you pushing to them, it's them coming to you. If you don't have these strategies in place to capture them when they're at the moment of intent, they're ready to hire, they're ready to buy, that's a big missed opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
And no lead list available where you're pushing out to these people cold will ever amount to the results and the performance that grabbing them as they're on their way to you is.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely. Okay, so no lead list. Lead list bad.
Yeah, I'm not interested in lead lists for small business owners. I think we can do better.
Okay, good. All right, so we hear that content is king. Content. Do I need to hire somebody to write content for me? Do I need to have somebody on my staff to write do I need to hire? Do I need to farm that out? How do I get this content that everyone's talking about?
Yeah, actually, I think if when you are creating your initial plan, you do find that content development is critical to supporting your efforts. So whether that's content, just this short Facebook posts,
Mm-hmm.
or the little videos, or the photos that you would post on Facebook or Instagram, or we're talking about adding a blog to an existing website, or you know, creating a blog or something like that, which is a much bigger endeavor. I really think that you need to start with you.
Mm-hmm.
Small business owners, your big differentiator, you know, between you and the big guys or you and that competitor is you.
Yeah.
And oftentimes the customer is, you know, I can buy gutter cleaning from 10 different companies and it's all going to be relatively the same service, but I stick with the company that I've used for years because I really like the couple who owns that business.
Yeah, absolutely.
I trust them. They show up when they say they're going to. They're just good people and they know exactly what they're doing.
Yeah.
They give great advice. So, you know, I would like to see, as their customer, following them on Facebook, they provide advice on their Facebook based on the season,
Mm-hmm.
and it's coming straight from them.
Yeah.
And you just can't do any better. So,
You're the face of the company. You're
Yeah.
the expert. It's great if you can write that content.
and I think, you know, keep in mind that with all of these things, and I think content specifically, it's quality versus quantity. You don't need to kill yourself posting to Facebook 100 times a week or even once a day. You know, it's just not necessary to push out that much volume. It's really the quality of the post and the conversations that you're having. You know, do it when it makes sense, when you have something valuable to say. And in that sense, it's easier to do it yourself.
Great advice.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've talked about Google a lot. If we don't have the money to put toward an SEM campaign, paid search, PPC, what things can we do to get quick wins on Google?
well, I think, I think you might have written a couple of articles for us on this. So again, I might defer to you as the expert here. When you talk
of making sure that you've got reviews, making sure that you've got a verified business on Google My Business, making sure that you are really monitoring those things, updating all of that. So whenever Google's looking for you, they have the right information. If you do already have a website, making sure things like the URLs that you type in are succinct. So manta.com/resources versus manta.com/PQ?357. So those kinds of things that you can go into and make sure that your customers can find things that make sense based on the URL too. Because that's good for your customer, it's good for Google. So that's another Google win. Other things would be making sure your sitemap's up to date. So again, if you have a website already, having a clear, easy path to get from one page on your site to another in a hierarchical way is really important. That's for your customers and for the search engines. And that's really what Google's goal is they're trying to match what a customer is searching for with the best place to find it. So if you're keeping that in mind, things like keyword stuffing goes out the window because you're not actually delivering the right stuff to the customer. So, Google over the years has learned that and really adapted to it to make sure that content that makes sense on your site is more important than using a certain number of keywords. So you should be thinking about that as well. What's good for your customer is what's good for Google.
Yeah, and I think, talking today about small or zero budgets, marketing budgets, I often tell people if you're going to have a business website, you need to think about it the same way you think about buying a car. So you don't buy a car and drive it off the lot and think, that's the last money I'm ever going to spend on this car. And it's just going to drive and drive. When you buy a car and you make that investment, you're going to have to change the oil, and you're going to have to do the filters, and you're going to have to gas it up. And, there's the 10,000 mile maintenance and, all this kind of thing. There are maintenance costs to a small business website. And so, I think if you have decided that is a critical touch point for capturing customers, then you need to maintain that investment with a lot of the strategies that you talked about, which is basic search engine optimization. It's organic search.
Yep.
I think if you decide, and I think this is actually a perfectly relevant option, to not have a website, because again, Google and Manta, all these places that are probably always going to rank better in searches than your website can, no matter how optimized it is and how much money you spend on it. I mean, these are massive, players, right? Search players. They're always going to be optimized.
Yeah.
They're always going to rank in search. They're always going to work on mobile devices. Yep. So again, sort of going back to, if you don't have a website, think of those pages as your business website.
Yes.
And even taking it a step further, just to really drive this point home, and I'm not anti-website by any means, because it is a function for a lot of businesses that you really can't get away with not having it.
But if you don't have the budget to create one,
right,
here's the other option.
Well, the other thing is your business website or web page is one page within the internet. It is literally a speck of dust, in a sea of pages on the internet.
Right.
But with the local listings, you are amplifying the pages on the internet that carry your business's information and are going to be delivered in all those searches by customers by hundreds and hundreds and hundreds.
Yes.
So again, back to the very first part where we're prioritizing in that plan, start there.
Yeah, absolutely. Totally agree. So these have all been great tips, and we want to keep going. So if you've got other questions, you can send those in. We'll get back to you even after we finish this broadcast. And join us next week. Next Friday, we're going to be talking about inserting your email marketing plan into your overall marketing plan, how to do that. And next Thursday, we have a webinar all about is paid search right for your business. So if when you graduate from doing the free stuff and you do have some marketing dollars to put toward paid search, we'll talk you through what you need to make sure that you're ready to do that. So,
and by the way, you could do paid search for less than $50 a month.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think when
and
you say
can
paid
direct
search,
it to your Manta page too.
Yeah, I think when you say paid search, they're like hundreds, ka-ching, and it's just it's actually not. It's not that bad.
Yeah,
that's a big myth, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Choosing, and we will talk about choosing the budget that's right for you, that fits what your business's goals are, and things like that. So join us next Thursday. And if you want a custom marketing plan for your business, we have Manta Marketing Pros. Call your Manta Marketing Pro if you already have one, and they'll hook you up with all the stuff that we were talking about today, making sure that everything is fixed and working for you. Right. And if you don't have a marketing pro, get a free demo with one. There's a link in the description today, so go ahead and click on that and just fill out the form, and we'll call you and really work with you to understand what Manta can do for your business.
And the free demo, they get a listings report, don't they?
Oh yeah.
So all those listings I was talking about, if you do the free demo, actually right now they are also able to run a scan of like 70 plus online listings, including Google and Facebook and Yelp and all the big ones, and tell you where things are missing and broken.
Yep.
And so if that is going to be part of your plan after hearing how important that is, that's actually the best place to start, because then you're not just randomly going to all these places. It gives you a perfect list and exactly what needs updated on all of them, so you can print that baby out and just go to work.
All right, so thank you guys so much for joining us, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you.